So if you are lucky enough to have an L67 like I do, you may or may not know about a problem that is pretty common among the L67 motors. Valve cover gaskets begin to break down and leak. Now, my car has about 101,000 miles on it, and it started to leak at just about 100,000 miles. And it may be hard to see, but there is oil that is starting to come down. You can see where it's just starting to leak, and it's running down onto the exhaust manifolds. Now normally this wouldn't be such a big deal, but there's always a risk of you getting engine compartment fire. Now of course the solution to this is to just pull off the valve cover, replace the gasket, and you're good to go. But if you're like me and you're limited on time and you are looking for a temporary solution to something like this, well, you can obviously do a quick workaround if you are worried that the oil coming down is going to cause a fire. Now, I've always heard about fires being caused from oil dripping onto the manifolds. I cannot say for myself if that is true or not. I'm sure that it is, but regardless, there is a temporary workaround that you can use just to clean things up around the manifold area. What I have here, I got this at the store for $2. It is a sponge on the end of a plastic tube, and what I did is I filled it with some Dawn dish soap and some hot water. Pretty simple. Pretty much what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wet the sponge beforehand, then fill the tube up with just a little bit of soap, not a lot. You don't want a lot on there. And you can see that I've used this one before, and just I'll show you here in a second what you got to do with it. And also I have here just a regular squeezy bottle. It looks like it's got some kind of a soap in there. I cleaned it out really good, and it's filled with cold water, and basically I'm going to be using this just to rinse off any of the soap that would be remaining afterwards. So after doing just a quick look at the exhaust manifolds here, there's just a little bit of oil on them, not bad, but I can smell it ever so slightly, and I just want to make sure that it's just clean until I get it fixed. Like I said, the quickest way is to get it fixed, obviously, but if you're looking for a temporary workaround, as far as avoiding any possible fire, and I do say possible, I cannot say for sure or not. This is exactly how I clean it up. Again, there's probably various methods to doing this, but this is how I do it. So obviously you don't want to do this when the engine has been running. You want to make sure the engine is cold or hasn't been run in a few hours, because the manifolds stay hot for quite a long time, and you really want to do this when it's cold. So basically the only thing that you do is you take your little sponge here, and you can get some more sponges, but this one seems to work fine for me. A little bit of water will come out with the soap, and it will kind of clean the oil off this heat shield here. Now, the oil that is actually on the manifolds itself, which shouldn't be that much, because if the motor is hot and the oil touches it, it should burn up pretty quick. There's really not that much on there. It's mainly on this heat shield, which happens to get hot enough to the point where you can smell it. So I'm not really worried too much about the manifolds themselves, because the oil seems to be more or less on this heat shield here. Now you do want to be careful that you don't get water or, you know, these boots here that keep water from getting into the plugs. You just want to make sure that you're a little careful. I got a little bit over here, but no big deal. I mean, they can get wet. You just, you know, don't want to soak them or anything. But as you can see here with me scrubbing this, there's quite a bit of soap. Yeah. Usually I do this with 2 hands, but there's quite a bit of soap here that comes out, and that's fine. Really, dish soap seems to be the best at taking this off. You probably don't want to use any harsh chemicals or anything else like that. It's just oil, and oil comes out pretty easy with any kind of dish soap. But yeah, pretty easy. If you want to, in this area here, if you've got oil coming up here, you can take that out, but that oil's actually been there for a little while and it's not going anywhere, so I'm not really worried about it at this point. When I do change the valve cover gasket, I'll of course clean all that up, but right now I'm not too worried about it.